Hello and thanks for staying with us. Welcome to Political Platform on Raypower FM. My name is Amicha Nopwe. Now, the Independent Electoral Commission INEC met with political parties yesterday. The purpose was to consult with them and show them the guidelines for the conduct of the election reviewed by INEC ahead of the election. Recall that for every election, INEC do review these guidelines and rules for the conduct of the election, and it's more pertinent when a new electoral act is in place. So INEC has that responsibility to align their rules and guidelines with the electoral act. That was what they did. But it was at the forum that the chairman of the registered political parties in Nigeria, coming under the IPAC, Inter-Party Advisory Council umbrella, told the INEC chairman and indeed Nigerians that the political parties are not happy with some provisions of the Electoral Act. According to him, according to them, this will roll back our democracy. The areas that concern stipulations on how parties can conduct their primaries, lining out only direct or consensus option, and also that political parties submit register of their voters 21 days before the primary, and that these register of voters must have the national identity number of the different political parties. So the political parties have rejected these provisions. The law says this is the way to go. That tells you, Tevetiev and Kula Adewale, the political parties are having their say. The minority will have their say in a democracy, while the majority APC is having its way. Welcome to the program.
Amaji, good morning to you. Good morning, listener, and then our viewers on YouTube at Raypower Abuja. When you say registered political parties in Nigeria, I want to believe it includes APC.
Yes.
I don't know whether that decision is talking about includes APC or
it includes the
majority of them.
But APC may have the minority voice within the IPAC.
The IPAC. He's not the first person. In fact, when the law was passed, IPAC, I know, rejected it. Several persons have come out, other in the individual political parties or separate political parties have come out to reject it and all of that. Like we said, they've had their way. Yesterday, he also said they have formally asked the National Assembly. Most probably, they would have written to them to amend or repeal, and all of that. The truth of the matter is, I think the train is moving already. I can't remember which party is the national chairman. I hope he's already doing his digital registration. If not, he won't be part of 2023 elections, 2027 elections, because that's what the law says. Even ADC and the others came out openly, Labour Party, to reject. They've gone back. Even the what's his name, Kabiru led the PDP.
Tanimu
Turaki. They've all gone back to do the
needful.
I don't know what is big. We talk about data. We talk about every other day. Is it how they, as political parties, if they get power, is it how they are going to run the country? It's very simple. They said, look, every member of your party that every Nigerian who wants to be a member of your party should be registered, they need and all of that. If it's the time frame they are talking about, I will understand.
They're also talking about the time
frame. But to say you don't want it at all, I don't understand. I know that in this country, a number of people also advocated for use of NIN for voter registration. People advocated for that they should use NIN for you to register as a voter. You must bring your NIN and all of that. I know there was a pushback from the north, and even census. Some people are saying they should use.
Is the time frame they are talking about? They say APC had long started their own online registration even before the Electoral Act, but perhaps they have to take the blame that they didn't see beyond their noses. They should have anticipated, because it's a game where you exploit all advantages that accrue to you. APC did that as the majority party in the National Assembly. When there were defections, perhaps they didn't understand the wider implications of majority of the other opposition members in the parliament. Moving over to this APC, it tells you that APC will get whatever it wants.
And it's like we were saying, they just need to go and do the needful. Even when the law was passed, a number of persons were also raising the issue. Labour Party, PDP, ABGA and the others had members in the National Assembly? How come even the political parties, an Electoral Act, a bill, before it became an act, as a party, you didn't collect a copy of the bill to study it as a party? When they went to the primaries, to the public, what were they saying?
No, some of them did oppose it. Recall some opposition members in the House of Representatives even stormed out when they knew they couldn't do much, and they were shouting the chorus, APC ole, meaning APC thief. But that's about having their own say. When they were shouting APC ole outside, APC inside was busy dotting the T's and crossing the T's and dotting the I's.
For you, beyond the shouting, when you know that these guys will eventually have their way, what do?
What can they do? They did what they have to do. Walk out in anger.
Fine, but you also need, that is going to be the requirement. And you need to go and make arrangements to
you have to conform to the law. Except of course they challenge some of those provisions they believe are obnoxious. In the law court, there have been instances
even if they do, Amechi, the law courts will take time to adjudicate on those things. The best thing is to confirm first and then go to court.
Obey
now, I'm not a politician. I don't belong to any of the
You're not a partisan politician.
I'm not a partisan politician. Well, the issue really is when the other political parties saw that the APC was doing e-registration, did they not extrapolate to say there must be something common?
Yes.
Let us also do this thing, because there has to be, if the ruling party is doing this thing, it's not just an innovation. It must mean that they are plotting something. Even if you are not sure, why not do your findings? You can ask questions from...
You can send him most.
Yes, you can.
The same way you are alleging that APC send most into your party.
Exactly. So I don't know what the noise is about, really. Instead of making noise, like they will say in labor, stop agonizing and start to organize. They should organize themselves and do the
mobilize the electorate.
Mobilize the electorate. One of the critical functions of political parties is to inform and educate the electorate.
But in lamentations, sometimes there are gains derivable from lamentations. There's this saying in my place. The mother hen says why she's shouting on top of her voice that the kite, the eagle, the hawk has carried the chickens. It's not that it's for the hawk to bring them back, but for the whole world to hear her voice. So it could be on that plan that they will say, let's even shout. Let it be on record that we shouted. Some of them may even up the ante by saying we are going to protest in front of foreign embassies. That's the new number.
In my own community,
they want the world to hear their voice.
In my own community, there's this story about the hawk that sent it was training its young ones to hunt.
Yes.
And the young one went and picked the chick of a hen.
Yes.
And came back. And he went to pick the chick of a duck.
Yes.
And came back. And the mother said, what did the mother of the chick that you picked, what did she say? Said she just walked away. She didn't say anything. She said, no, go and return that one.
Yes.
And
there's more. The mother duck is planning.
The young hawk now went and picked the chick of a hen.
Yes.
And brought it back. And the mother said, what did the mother say? She quacked and did and jumped. I said, she has done.
That's the worst she can do.
That's the worst she can do. So all of the noise that they have made, I equate it to that noise from the hen whose cheek has been picked up. So instead of making noise, think about what to do. Strategize.
Make good.
Exactly.
Make best out of a bad situation.
Make the best of it, because that is the only way you can run. Now, the APC as it is swallowing up all the members of the other parties. And they all know that their very existence is threatened. I heard somebody say this morning that what the APC is actually planning, I don't know how true it is, but he said he heard from a member of the APC that very soon there will not be any members left in the other parties. And
that's not true.
And I'm saying, how can that even happen? How can that happen? But you see, when things like that are happening, then you need introspection too. But the other parties should do some introspection, because why are your members leaving? Is it just about elective office? How many elective positions do we even have that everybody is living in droves for the other political parties? So check yourself.
The issue is that in third world democracies such as Nigeria, is the opposition need to understand the enormous responsibility before them. Now, because of our weak democratic structures and weak institutions, including weak civil institutions, including the media and civil society, and you out there that will take anything without protesting, those in power do everything they want to do. And most times they get away with it. They get away with it. So, in advanced nations, there are impediments, there are institutions that will push back because it's like a machine that is operational. If you are in opposition, all paraphernalia of state will be against you. Who was saying that the other day that the state is listening to him? Ali Ndume. Yes, the security agencies monitor your movement. They tap your phones. They listen to you. They they infiltrate your meetings and report to the government.
You are talking about opposition, even you and I.
Yes, they listen to us. They listen to us.
We know.
Yes,
your private life.
They have videos of us moving, interacting with you. Sometimes when we drop by in a bar at night to cool down temper, they follow us. We know that they do these things. So I expect the opposition parties to understand the terrain they have found themselves. Your disadvantage. Even nobody want to do business with you if you're in the opposition. If you're in the opposition, Peter Obi said, the people of the government, when he's saying hi to them in the airport, when they meet, they are running away. They don't want to return his greeting.
So because
they say, because the eyes of the security agencies are everywhere. They file reports every day and they say, this personality passed through here.
And you know
he greeted this person.
The solution is that you're not loyal.
You're not loyal. So it's in contrast with UK, where you're paid as an opposition member. Is an essential part of their democracy. The shadow government receives salary.
Yeah, but don't forget, Amechi, that members of the shadow government are also members of parliament.
Yes.
In the UK.
Yes.
And that's where the difference lies, really. And
in
that's
our presidential and cabinet system.
Yes, and that's why our presidential system is so expensive and so restrictive. Because once you are in opposition, you are out in the cold. But in the parliamentary system, the fact that you are in opposition does not mean you are out of government.
Yes.
You look at what Kemi Badenoch is doing, and all the members of the opposition. They also have a very strong voice, and they are listened to by their people. But here, the opposition is voiceless. They say you are making noise.
They've chosen. I remember the other day you were saying we should do some taking side or supporting opposition in a way so that they don't completely.
That's not what you mean.
No. I think you yourself or somebody was like, the way we were talking about the opposition as if they are placed in the democracy, they are disadvantaged, so we should give them.
They are. They are. I didn't say, but I think so. They are.
Yeah. So we advise them. Let's advise the opposition. We've already told them, look, the deal has been done. Go and see how you can put yourself together to get the digital register, and be part of 2027. The problem is, even parties like this one now, this upper chairman, I don't know the party that is national chairman, but his party, I can assure you, will more probably present a presidential candidate. The 20 parties, almost all of them, except Wike's PDP and a few others are adopting other candidates. Abga said they will not present, and all of that. Almost all the other ones will say they will present, and those presidential candidates they are present will not even win in their own polling unit. Not to talk of ward or that. I've always given an example of what Tinubu did with Lagos. He was the last man standing in AD at the time. He used that platform to infiltrate the Southwest. He was not so much of the presidency. Yes, when he brought ACN, he brought El-Rufai. AC, he brought Atiku as candidate.
Brought Rufai, Ribadu as candidate.
When it was ACN. But that was not, his target was the Southwest. And we saw how he even collected governorship from Ekiti in some of those places, and all of that.
Through the courts,
established a base. In some of them in the House of Assembly. And that's why one of the things I like with INEC, that if a party, if you are unable to win any seat at all after a time, they register you. You go and start afresh.
That's what the law says.
So you go and, even if it's councillorship, even if it's chairmanship, even if it's House of Assembly,
State Assembly,
this ADC that people are saying, shouting, some people felt it's a constituency in my state. that the ADC won Buruku state constituency. The guy was denied ticket in, I think, APC or PDP. He defected. He campaigned street to street, village, community to community, and he won his election. You know, what is NNPP doing? The guy has consolidated in Kano. If he can get Jigawa and he was almost winning Taraba State, the governorship. That's what you do. Make sure that in the National Assembly, the APC or the ruling party does not have 2/3.
And so
ATO had majority House of Assembly. They produce a speaker.
Okay,
and all of that. So you have to have a strategy.
Yes.
It must be president. It must be president. It must be
but it's just that
somewhere.
One thing is to have the strategy, make those inroads, and protect those inroads. Because, like I told you, it's expensive to be in. Some politicians will tell us in the past they can't afford to be in the opposition. The hunger will kill them. Hunger will murmur them
because they are jobless.
They don't do any other thing. No, not just beyond jobless. The business you do, it involve the state.
Sure.
You won't get patronage.
And people
no
know
state
that
agency or institution will want to, even though if they see you at their gate, they will sack the security man that opened the door for you that day. And those in the National Assembly, because you not get juicy committee to chair, you'll be lured into joining them so that they'll give you juicy. So that you know what they do, they use the committee and make money, exploit agents, MDS,
so
and make money.
That's the juice.
That's the juice. The juice is corruption. Whenever you hear juice in government, it's not just corruption. It's stealing. It's
institutionalized
stealing. Because if you really want to serve, you go and suffer. Those that go into government in order to go and suffer, they come and worse off. But here they will kill to go to serve us and get juicy parastatals, juicy committees, juicy ministries, and steal the nation to death and order. But that's by the way. Let's have your meals now. Ari and Chidera are here. And when we come back, the power sector, it has demystified a lot of people. The late Bola Ige, astute politician, technocrat, a tested patriot. He said he will turn stone into water if he's given the power sector. By the time he was eliminated, he didn't appear, apparently didn't understand. He has not even found the stone before he can even turn it to water. He was still looking for the stone. He will turn into water. Fashion, before he came in as Minister of Power, that for 6 months, if a government cannot revamp the power sector, then that government does not even have a bearing. He oversaw the power sector for 4 years. And you know what happened? He lost his voice. And this minister now, that our telephone poll said should have been sacked 2 years ago by the president, is apologizing for the electricity not coming to your homes. We'll dwell on that after your meals.
Thank you, Amici, and welcome to the meal segment. I am Chidera Izudue.
And I am Olamide Ario. Welcome. Joe Alabosa is the rate at which Nigerian governors are defecting to the ruling party, APC, is very alarming. We are face to face with a serious situation where the country is gradually drifting to a one-party state right under our nose in a democratic system of government that allows for more than one legally registered political parties. This should raise serious concern for all well-meaning Nigerians. This mass defection has the following implications for citizens and democracy in Nigeria: weakened opposition, erosion of ideology, public cynicism, politicization of anti-corruption efforts, and a threat to federalism. In conclusion, these mass defections could have far-reaching consequences for Nigeria's democratic evolution, including weakened institutions, reduced accountability, increased corruption and abuse of power for resistance, and civic unrest from marginalized groups.
And from Lokoja, Haruna Sylvester says, please permit me to clarify wrong notion of some of our political elites that PDP is dead, their common slogan. PDP is not dead, but the dead conscience of political entrepreneurs who, without political ideology, wrecked PDP. Senate President Godswill Akpabio on 13th March 2026 on Daily Post newspaper was reported as saying PDP is dead, making mockery of opposition political parties. The former governor of Bayelsa State, Dixon, also said that PDP has left him. And the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, playing anti-party democracy, who promotes APC ideals, and at the same time, head of factional PDP, playing God. Those are some of the characters who fed fat on PDP and finally siphoned it. My final submission, PDP is not dead. Stop fighting PDP.
And from Kubro in Abuja, Amici Oboche says, please permit me to use this medium to pose a question to Nigeria and Nigerians. Where exactly is the renewed hope agenda? I ask because the current realities in the country seem far removed from the promises that were made. As a right, many SMEs are shutting down. Power supply remains unreliable across most parts of the country. Fuel prices have surged to about 1,500 naira. Several large businesses are downsizing, laying off workers, and closing outlets. Basic food items such as fish, eggs, meat, and milk have become unaffordable for many households. Meanwhile, insecurity has spread nationwide, with the fear of kidnapping becoming a daily concern. Is this the renewed hope agenda, or is it something yet to materialize? President Tinubu needs to recognize that Nigeria appears to be gradually drifting under his watch. While those around him may not be presenting the full reality on the ground, this is the right time for him to go around the country so as to have a first-hand information on what is happening. The earlier this is done, the better for us all.
From Bayelsa State, Victor Ebi says, the 2027 general elections is around the corner, and the biggest obstacle to Nigeria democracy is journalists. In the past 3 years, I have watched with shame the unprofessional attitude of our journalists continually undermining our electoral system. Many times I watch journalists criticize the opposition party and accuse them of not being able to put their house in order. And I say anyone that feels that the opposition parties are not doing right should form his own party and do it right. Are we now too blind to identify the problems of our democracy? It is close to general elections, and yet none of the opposition parties can clearly say the name of their party leaders except the ruling APC. For over 20 years of our democracy, have we ever seen such? Are we now in a lawless society? What do journalists mean by fractional chairman of a party? Do the law of any political party have office of a fractional chairman? Can we have a factional president, governor, or factional Supreme Court judge?
And Olarinde Ajamu from Kwara State says, on behalf of the entire Idofino Duashe communities in Kwara State, I am writing to express our deepest gratitude to you and the entire DAG Group PLC. Out of the hundreds of emails you receive daily, you chose to give a voice to our distress call on your broadcast today. That was yesterday. Hearing our plight amplified on your platform has given our people a renewed sense of hope that we are not entirely forgotten. Thank you for using your platform to shine a light on this critical security situation in our communities. While we are a rural community pulling our modest resources together for survival, we are highly organized, committed to keeping this advocacy alive. Once again, thank you for your professionalism and for standing with the voiceless.
And from Ogun State, Aniafiong Antia is saying, it is laughable or rather unpatriotic seeing the current Minister of Power offering apology to Nigerians over darkness and blackout experience under him and President Tinubu, who promised stable light during his campaign. And now his tenure is almost over. What do we see? Is insincere apology which cannot translate to power supply. For me, this is like crocodile tears apology. What happens to businesses that have collapsed under this administration due to incessant collapse of the national grid? What now happens to those who have been paying for darkness via estimated billing? What about the discrimination brought upon the people in the same country through banned ABCD initiative in a country where no man should be oppressed? The Minister of Power, Mr. Adelabu, should immediately resign now to pursue his political career. Not only to resign, himself and Tinubu should return the country's power sector to where they met it in 2023.
From the power sector to the global tensions in the Middle East, Clinton Haraba from Benin City in the state says, in light of the ongoing global tensions involving the United States, Israel, and Iran, and the economic pressure they bring, I suggest the government consider reintroducing fuel subsidy as a measure to ease the hardship faced by Nigerians. This approach may be more effective and manageable now for the following reasons. With the availability of a functional refinery in Nigeria, The government can better monitor production and distribution processes. This increases transparency and reduces the likelihood of corruption that previously affected the subsidy system. Reintroducing subsidy would help lower fuel prices, which in turn could reduce transportation and commodity costs, positively affecting the daily lives of the majority of Nigerians. Lastly, regarding the song mentioned yesterday, it was originally performed by Olibese for Sale, titled Do Something by Murege, released on January 1st, 2003.
And that is how far we can go on the mail segment. Keep sending in your mails with your name and location to politicalplatform@dargroup.com.
Thank you so much for the mails. An apology has come. It was the former Minister of Education that said he failed his assignment. Adamu, an accountant that the late President Buhari gave the education sector. After the first 4 years, he said he didn't understand what was happening and apologized to Nigerians for his failure. He was retained in that portfolio when Buhari won re-election, and he also gave his bit. And now it's the turn of Adamu.
He's trying to get people on his side. Sorry, Minister, you no go work. That is just one of the responses. But I must say that, like you said, Amechi, an apology is acceptance that you were wrong and that you are sorry that you did wrong. But now that he has apologized, I don't know what they have put in place to improve power generation, transmission, and distribution in 2 weeks, because he said, give us 2 weeks, we will improve on power supply. Power supply that we have not been able to improve on in 26 years and billions of dollars after. How he will do that?
Is he not further putting himself on the cross?
Exactly.
2 weeks will be around Good Friday.
Exactly.
That was when the Jews nailed Jesus to the cross.
Exactly.
Is he not setting himself up in the Golgotha?
Exactly. So he maybe he wants to review that statement and tell us the truth, because there's a whole lot wrong with the power sector. I can't understand for the life of me why Nigeria is still generating less than 5,000 megawatts of power after how many years, and with a burgeoning population. We need 100,000 megawatts. We are looking at 3,500, 3,400, 4,200, depending on whether there is rainfall or there's no rainfall, whether there's shortage of gas or not. We have gas in Nigeria. We are blaming it. The minister blamed it on shortage of gas and talking about Gencos and all. We have gas in Nigeria that will flare.
He explained that repairs to key gas infrastructure
what exactly is the problem?
Expected to restore gas to this power
So
plant.
will they be restored in 2 weeks? Will those gas supplies, will they enable the Gencos to fire their turbines, all the turbines that they've not been able to fire because there's nowhere to evacuate the power to? Will it improve the transmission capacity? Will it improve the distribution capacity of the discos too? These are critical questions. Amechi, you know how much you spend on electricity in your house. Anyway, you are already on solar. Like the State House, you have disconnected from the.
I'm saying with National Grid. NEPA is on standby in my house.
So he has put AEDC on standby and he's doing his thing. So for those of us who still rely on AEDC, we are grasping at straws, because in my house, I was home for most of yesterday, working from home, and I found out that power came on sporadically. They'll give you 20 minutes, take it off. After 10 minutes, they'll bring it back. And then for 2 hours, you won't see it. Well, and it's like that. It's just epileptic. That's the word, epileptic. And it goes beyond an apology. So I don't know whether the minister's apology is going to change all of these things in the next 2 weeks. That's what I'm looking at.
Nigerians are rejecting his apology on our YouTube page. Comrade Mondane is saying, apology not accepted. Well, some people may accept his apology, Comrade Monday.
Personally, I accept his apology. The reason being that he's found himself in a system that has been structured to sabotage the Nigerian state. The power sector is just like what we had in the petroleum sector, where oil marketers, if they want to increase price, they will hoard fuel. They want to, to create
artificial
scarcity and all. That is the situation with the power sector. Do you know that today, even these days, I say few days, I'm saying few days because I don't even know whether they take the light or no light. But within these days, that he says there is no.
You have procured solar too.
Long time ago, long time ago. These weeks that he said there was. He said 2 weeks or so that there was no supply and all of that. Within this time, for each of those days, Nigeria is still going to pay for the gas that was supposedly supplied and not used. That is how bad the situation. The contract ended and signed with the Gencos and all of that. So that gas is not storable. It's not. So if once they give for that day, if they are saying they're giving so cubic meter, maybe whether you use it or you don't use it, an invoice is sent. That's why those characters will come and tell you Nigeria is owing them 4 point something. It's completely out of it. We need to move.
You're completely out of time.
I know. We need to move from gas. We need to move from gas and leave those guys on the countries like Angola.
We have to go.
Egypt and the rest. They are depending on
Sarah,
we have water bodies everywhere.
I don't like apologies because my boss, when you fail to deliver, he calls you a hypocrite. And the word used to pain me. He began to build me rather than tearing me down.
No, I'm sure you don't want to read that on radio.
Yes. Well, let's say some other person said very soon the people of Oyo, like I said, will enjoy his capacity, governance capacity for wins. We wish him well, but when there's an apology, accept it. Because we all get back to God every day with apologies. But it shouldn't rest with apology. When you confess your sin, you show restitution.
And then you don't sin anymore.
Yes, you show remorse and restitution. Prime Minister, where is your remorse and where is your restitution?
He will leave in 2 weeks. So.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a good time.